Good evening, welcome to Opinion Box. My name is Levi Kones. Very first edition of Opinion Box. It's March the 1st, the year is 2022. We are talking to two gentlemen who are from different sides of the political divide. Just want to have a discussion about youth and politics, just to discuss and see the youth. What is the decision of the youth going forward? Why should they align themselves with one particular side or the other? Or, you know, maybe not even align with any of these two sides. We want to hear from them this night. Dennis Mbanda, right?
Yes.
Is the chairman of the Azimio Youth League.
Yes.
Karibu sana.
Thank you so much.
As well as Festus Rotich, chama cha mashinani strategists, allied to Kenya Kwanza.
Kenya Kwanza.
Yeah. Last time you were here, you were telling me small parties.
Yeah, exactly.
Wasidharau small parties.
Exactly.
Yeah?
Yes.
Right, gentlemen. Good evening.
Good evening to you.
Yeah. Let's start from the top. You know, the youth have been, everyone talks about young people. Both of your different, politicians from both sides and even from other sectors talk about the youth vote, talk about the youth of today, talk about how this particular election will be decided by the youth. I want to start from the top. We just had voter registration and it has ended March 28th. Of course, new voters can still get, but officially, those of us that are moving polling stations are not going to be able to do so now. In the new registration, the IEBC says they fell short of the mark, only getting 2.5 million out of a possible 6 million new voters that they thought they would have registered. That's all young people, because none of us is turning 18 anytime soon again. So those are young people who turned 18 between 2017, right after the elections, and 2022. And they didn't seem to take the vote very seriously in terms of registration. What does that tell us about young people and the election? What do you guys think?
My name is Dennis.
Yes.
And we are told that 75% of the population of this country is made up of the young people. Now, youth, we are being faced with a crisis for the young people. We have what we call population bulge, which can be a blessing and a curse at the same time. Now, if you look at the reason why young people are apathetic, it's because of a few reasons. One, they feel that politics is a dirty game. They feel that they're pressed with dire needs. You understand? You go to school, you do not have a job. So where would you rather focus your attention? You'd rather look
kura ama kutafuta kazi.
Yes. Yes. So those are some of the pertinent issues that we need to start addressing. We need serious voter education, civic education, massively. But now we need to change the way we do things. This one has to be cascaded downwards. Me in future, for example, if I'm the president, I'll just say that if you do not have a voter registration, because it is your constitutional right to vote as a young person, it is your constitutional right. So if you do not have a voting card, then you should be denied some certain services. Yes.
Festus, what do you think?
Okay, first let me take this opportunity to welcome my brother.
Yes.
From the other side of political wing.
Thank you.
Azimio.
Yes.
How is your father, the papa?
Endelea bana maswali yangu.
Sorry, you know these guys from the other side, they have several fathers. They have the father in heaven, they have the father on earth,
Baba.
But as in Kenya Kwanza, you only have so few fathers. Only have the father.
So tell me about this particular issue.
So my friend, okay, happy to have you around. I'm happy that today we are talking about the youth, and as you all know, that the youths make a significant percentage in the population, national population, and their vote is actually very important. When the youths don't vote, it really jeopardizes the basic premise of democracy, which say democracy is a government of the people, by the people, for the people. So when we have the youths not participating in election, it really feels sad, because they are the one who makes large percentage of the population.
Yeah.
But currently, there are so many factors that are forcing the youth not to participate in election. There are so many a lot of joblessness, youths have finished their education, they don't get jobs. Then the current leadership don't pay attention to the youths. They don't enact legislation that address the needs of the youth. They don't pass policies that address the challenges that the youth are currently facing. Like you see, if it's a fact that the youth is a significant percentage of the population in Kenya, it will mean that even the national budget, every time every end of financial year, the CS for Finance reads a budget. If the youth indeed forms the large percentage of our population, it will also mean that at least 50% of the budget should be addressing the needs of the youth. It will be addressing structures that will help mitigate the challenges that the youths are facing. So if currently there is less attention being paid to the youths, it will mean that the youths have no interest.
So less attention.
Yeah.
Dennis, you said that that IBC did not, in your opinion, reach out to the young people in a better way. Do you agree with that, first of all?
Yes.
What do you think they should have done?
Clearly.
That would have reached out to youth in a more effective manner. To tell them, you know what, chukua kura.
One thing that I think through the research, this is through data statistically, not so many young people are bothered about IDs. Now, the administrative bottlenecks and procedures of going and applying for ID, waiting, going to the chief, leave alone the urban youth, for example. If you go to Mashinani, my friend, getting ID is not an easy task. You go to the SL community, Northeastern, these people, they even cry foul. They do not get ID in time. So these are certain fundamental issues. Through the government, these are certain things that partnership with the IBC should be looked into. So that if you apply ID, for example, for an ID, it should not take more than 48 hours or even a week. All right. Number two, now, most young people, for example, they do not know about what is happening. How many people watch news nowadays?
We're getting it on our phones.
Yes.
It will be WhatsApped before 1 o'clock.
For example.
Mtu akisema saa hii tumejua on Twitter.
Yes. So many young people, they focus their energy on phones. So I think the IBC should focus much of their civic education through technology, as opposed to doing them on gazettes.
Do a TikTok, for example.
Yes, for example. Something that is fun. Yes.
What do you say? How could they have reached the youths better?
Last time when I was here, I still categorically thought the IPC or the government knows that every day, we have birthdays every day. They are Kenyans, they are youths who turn 18 years every day. Every day there's a birthday of someone who is turning 18 years. So the government should always accompany the photo registration card with the national ID. Say that as you register to get a national ID,
unapata kura.
Yes, you get. It should come. The two items should be in that twin. Say that as you get your national ID, it should come automatically with the voters card. So that there is no issue of saying this is a period of registering as a voter.
We are all voters.
The day, if constitutionally, it says as you turn 18 years, you are now legitimate, or you can
eligible to vote.
You are now eligible to become a voter. Why shouldn't that as you get your national ID, the same day you pick your national ID is the same day you will be picking your voter's card. Say that if there is anything that the IBC should be playing about, it should only be about changing a polling station. Yes, I think that maybe you are voting in Nairobi, you want to go and vote in a country. That is now what the IBC should be playing about. But today I'm getting a national ID. I'm constitutionally eligible to
and these are good ideas. But you guys are in parties.
Yes.
And when IBC says that they are doing, they are doing public participation, and they are talking to parties before they start. Do they talk to you about some of these things? Or do you feel that youth are on the table in your parties
like that.
to have a voice to talk to the IBC?
No, you see, IBC is one of the constitutional bodies that is highly funded. they receive a lot of funds from the government to carry out this voter registration, training, blah, 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 and so on and so forth. But currently, it's like there is no much involvement. These funds, any activity that IPC does is only to spend the money that they have been allocated by the government. They don't actually do it for the intended purposes. Because if that was the case, there would be IPC, or we should be having a structure in every polling station that IPC could be having maybe an employee in every polling station. They would be having a point person in every polling station. That the number of policies that we have in Kenya, we should be having an IPC personnel in every polling station.
And that's IPC, but I'm asking you people now from your parties.
Yes.
Levy.
You're even chairman of a youth league.
Even the first voter mobilization that was done by the IBC. Now, I remember we even took proposals to the IBC headquarters, and the first thing we met the chairman, the first thing that he told us, that they are underfunded. Okay, so it is not clearly true, my brother, that these people are overfunded. It's not.
But you see, my friend, even if you have money,
yes,
there is no person. I think it's an evil weakness. Even if you find a rich person now, and you ask him, how much do you have? He will say, I don't have money. And even someone who is loaded, he has enough cash. No one will ever admit that he or she has money.
Yes.
Even if you get me very loaded enough, I have some good cash in my pocket. I'll say, no, I have no money, I have no money. The same thing with this government bodies.
Yes.
You go to these ministries, this government, these independent bodies, the ESCC, whatever, the IEPC, all these independent bodies.
They say the same thing all the time.
We understand that they are cry babies.
I get you.
Everything, no money. I think it's the normal human weakness that you can never accept that you have money even when you have.
I get you. But fast forward level, I think moving forward in future, this should be a continuous process so that it doesn't just come during electioneering period.
Yeah.
For example, if you're leaving if you're finishing your high school, you are supposed to be getting an ID when you turn 18. So I think even through the Ministry of Education, IBC should now start partnering with the Ministry of Education so that by the time these people are finishing, when they're in their Form 4, they're supposed now to get the ID. We partner through the government, through the ministry, the OP. Now they get the ID, and as that happens, also they register as voters, so that this becomes a continuous process.
Yeah. And maybe that civic education should be incorporated in the syllabus as well.
Absolutely.
So in school you begin to learn how to be a good voter.
Yes. And through that we'll save a lot of resources. What Baba is now talking about.
That's why
I want to. I'm sure you want to jump on that.
I have a lot of fathers. You have the father in never, the father will not.
So tell me. So I wanted to ask you. So
there's only one Baba.
Which Baba?
We have one family,
What about the one in 11?
and one nation.
What about the one in never?
Let me ask you guys. So away from the Baba's issue.
Right.
Yeah, a young person who is watching you guys today. You see now, we have moved now from the issue of the voter registration, which we have seen the bottlenecks.
Yes.
But then we do have some young people who went and registered.
Yes.
2.5 million you guys.
Correct.
You know, went and registered. They won't be voting for the first time, God willing.
Yes.
And they'll be able to decide which way or that way.
Yes.
Do you think, in terms of, before I even ask you about your different coalition, thoughts in terms of whether you are appealing to those young people,
Right.
do you think that the demographic of the youth will actually decide the election? Or has that age demographic shifted? Which type of people do you think are going to decide this election?
To begin, Levy, I think for the first time in the history of this country, our election is about ideas, is about issues. This time round, the election is different. The political dispensation that we've been presented with is about issues. That's got nothing to do with tribe. Okay? So move fast forward. Because for the first time we're talking about issues. Now, these are things that are now are endearing to the young people.
It really has nothing to do with tribe.
I know that it will take time for that to go away. But 60% of this political dispensation is going to be about issues.
Mm-hmm.
Now, we are talking about Azimio la Umoja. Now, the pertinent concern here is bringing young people together, umoja. Now, on your side is Kenya Kwanza. So,
It's bottom up.
yeah.
It's bottom up.
The slogan is bottom up, but it's Kenya Kwanza coalition.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. So the youth population now, as it stands, like for example, Baba is talking about so many. He has his own youth agenda, the Baba agenda for the youth. There are so many, right? So for the first time, young people are presented with opportunity. Baba is talking to their hearts. For example, if you look at young people in the university, Baba is talking about help, increasing help in line with the hard economic times. If you're a student in the university, if you're given 35,000 shillings per year, and this money is supposed to pay you a fee, and some of us, we come from different backgrounds. You cannot even sustain yourself with this amount for a whole year. So what Baba is saying, that I'm going to increase this in line with the hard economic times. Number two, Baba is talking about a tax holiday. That as a young person, you're just done with your university. 7 years, you're going to be given a tax holiday. And in line with that, is also going to reduce the taxation for young people who want to venture into business. So young people who this message touches them, most of them, the majority, actually over 70%.
And you still think those are the game changers?
Those are the game changers.
Festus.
Thank you, my brother. I think Papa is fond of paying lip services. Papa has been in government for long,
Yes.
and he has had the opportunity to showcase his ability or his prowess in terms of addressing the issues of this country. First, let us be in agreement that politics is about interest. It's about interest. And as much as we are saying the youths will vote on ideas, you have just stated categorically that the youths will vote on ideas. I want to differ with you. Like currently, I've never seen a point where youth are voting on ideas. We are still concentrated on the tribal cocoons. First, for instance, you'll see youth in Nyanza.
Yes.
They'll be voting for Papa. Youth have shown a pattern of voting that they vote following their folks, their parents, their parents, their grandparents, and their tribal cocoons, tribal chiefs. For instance, you go to Nyanza, you'll find youth in Nyanza, they'll be voting for Papa, the father.
Wait a minute. I don't want to cut you short.
Yeah.
I was telling you about Baba's agenda.
Yes.
And why youth should support Baba's agenda.
Yes.
As opposed to responding to my concern, tell me what your presidential
I'm
candidate
coming,
stands for.
I'm coming there. I'm coming there. I'm coming there.
Young people should vote for him.
I'm coming there.
Yes.
So you have said the youth will vote based on the agenda.
Yes.
Okay, like your team, you forgot to say that your team has promised a 6,000 stipend to youths. You forgot to say that. Let me say.
What are you promising? That's what you're asking.
Politics is about interest.
Yes.
Isn't it?
Yes.
Us in Kenya Kwanza, we have promised a bottom-up economic model that is intended at uplifting the living standard of someone at the grassroots. This person who is living at the grassroots, this person who is economically challenged.
Yes.
So this economic model is going to build Kenyans. It is going to transform our country. If we empower this person at the grassroots,
Yes.
this person will grow from owning a border to owning a taxi, to owning a minibus. This person owning a...
Okay. I want to ask you guys something, the two of you.
Yes.
Let me
finish your point, because I have a question.
Yes, let me finish my
That's
point.
really bad here.
I was saying, my friend was talking about ideas. So I was saying, in Kenya Kwanza, we are talking about the bottom-up economy. That's uplifting this person at the grassroots, isn't it? But our friends from the other side are talking about the 6,000.
Yeah. Let me ask you one question though, before as you finish. Do you feel then that you people are setting an agenda?
Yes,
that is free, that is reaching the youth who you just said are tribal?
Yes.
Is it
for
making
instance,
them...
now, a youth has just graduated, just finished university.
That will it make a youth from
Yes.
Eldoret, for example, look and say, I like this agenda, I'll vote for it. Not because...
there's someone who say there, if you want to rule someone forever, make that person poor. Let that person worship you. Let that person wakes up every morning kneeling down to you to get some stipend. That's what the other side are saying. They are saying they are going to empower youth by giving them 6,000 every morning or every month. But as we have said, we have a structure that will empower this youth. As you graduate, you are a youth, you have just finished university. The only thing you have is that you are pregnant with ideas, you only have a laptop, but you don't have capital.
I had to cut my brother short. I really want to listen to you.
Okay.
But, you're not answering. What is amusing? You see, when you started talking, I was laughing.
Yes.
I was actually smiling in amusement.
Yes.
Because you guys are not answering the how. You're saying we want. Just giving sweet words. Like in 2013, your presidential candidate was all over the country, tanga-tangaing around, giving false hopes. Now, it's the same thing, it's the same pattern that he's again coming with. Now, the last Sagana meeting, the president clearly said, just a minute, my brother,
okay.
The president clearly said that my deputy president, or my principal assistant, came to Mount Kenya touring all over this place with false lies and giving young people false hopes. Now, before that,
I have a question.
Who said that?
Just a minute.
Who said that?
The president.
The president.
Just a minute.
How did you finish your point quickly?
Yes.
How did
the president?
Yes, Levin.
Yeah, finish quickly.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now, we've seen the deputy president moving all over the country, now telling mama mbogas in the markets that nitaleta 1 billion hapa, nitaleta for the youth, nitaleta 500 million hapa. Hii pesa anatoa wapi? What is this money supposed to do? What is the structure?
I have a question
with
for
which
both
he
of
wants
you.
to do this?
I like that question because
Yes.
that question goes both ways.
Thank you.
Because you guys are also saying that you're going to give the stipend.
Okay.
You're also saying that you are talking to us here about the tax holidays.
Okay.
We are already living in a country. Then the bottom up is talking about empowerment through loans. I think most of the time you have said that. Yes.
A structured
Structured system. You call
Yes,
it loans. You call it
yes.
what? Because you're saying fuliza no inamaliza watu sana. I hear your rallies.
yes.
Right now, if you go to help, there's a high rate of default at help.
And blacklist.
High rates of default for it means young people are not able to pay some of these
Because they
loans.
have no jobs.
If you go to CRB, hata wenye wako na jobs, there are young people who get businesses, they go take a loan from a bank and then they just default. While we have got defaulters who actually have not been able to make ends meet. COVID, economic downfalls, inflation, you name it. We also have defaulters who are just busy taking loans with no intention to pay.
Yes.
So given that we have those kind of people, and they are our young people, we know them.
Yes, yes.
How are you going to sustain that? And then we have a country that we say has hit the ceiling
Yes.
on loans.
Yes.
9 trillion. I understand even parliament wanted to go to 10. There are people who are saying, you know what, imetosha. And that debt is going to be handed over to whoever is president, whether he comes from Azimio
Yes.
or he comes from Kenya Kwanza.
I'd like to,
Sasa with hiyo madeni yote,
yes.
how are you going to offer the things you people are saying? How will you offer bottom up? How will you offer
I'd like to go fast. Levi.
the things that you're doing? Where will you find it?
I'd like to go fast. Now, regardless of our political sides, we are both Kenyans.
Yes.
And it is true that we are living in hard economic times. Just 2 days ago, the entire country, especially those in social media, were talking about lower food prices. It is true. If I give you 1,000 shillings, you go to the supermarket,
We'll get two things
you just get two things.
and no change.
It's very hurtful. We're living in a country where 1 liter of cooking cooking salad going about 360 shillings, which is 3 times the price of petrol. Okay, so these are certain things that, as a country, regardless of our political affiliations, we need to find solutions to. Now, Baba is saying this, that I've been in government, I know where money is. You understand, Levi?
Kuna tushimo.
Yes,
Yeah,
he knows where the money is, and he knows where this money is going. Now, fast forward. The president, by his own words, said that around 2 billion shillings get lost every day
Through corruption.
through corruption. And Baba is saying this. When we were in Thika, he said, for the first time, he said, I'm going to arrest those people. And it's true. we will come for them. Now, reason why I'm saying this, look at this, the kind of money getting lost, Levy, per day. And our independent institutions like EACC, which are supposed to be independent, but to me, there's nothing that they're doing. The asset recovery body, there's nothing they're doing. Now, two things here. One, we have to empower these independent bodies, also the judiciary, because corruption cases go even for 10 years.
So you think if you cut out, basically you're saying,
yes,
if you cut out those types of corruption,
absolutely,
you will find the money.
Absolutely.
Okay, let me hear first. Where are you finding the money?
First, it's prudent to accept that currently,
yes,
the Papa, his person, is currently dining with the president. And he has stated that, let me just go through what he has just said. He has just said that President Uhuru Kenyatta stated that the country is losing 2 billion every day. That's the president in power. Mm-hmm. You have just said that, you have also stated that constitutional body like EACC and other bodies should be mandated. As we talk now, the person who is now dining at State House is Papa. The person now that is being funded by State House is Papa, is Raila, his person.
Levy, my friend is digressing.
If at all, no, let me
where
finish.
will this money come from? You are digressing.
I gave you time.
Yeah, I want to get to your point now.
Yes,
where you find
yes. I gave you time to speak.
You are debunking what you
to
say.
speak. So I'm just saying, you have just said that if now Papa is in State House, is dining with the president,
yes,
all those reform agenda that he has, he should start implementing right away. For Uru's term, this last term of Uru, from 2018, that's barely 1 year after election, Papa shook hand with President. Papa was given part of the government. He's now playing a key role in government.
Let's not talk about
if at all, is has a reform agenda.
This money that you're promising to give billions.
He should start implementing right away.
I get your point. I get your point in saying,
yes,
okay, and you have made a point to him,
yes,
that Baba should since he's there,
start the reform agenda right away.
Okay. But now tell me,
if at all,
where will you guys find the money for
yes,
bottom up?
For bottom up, okay, like for example, currently Kenya we are facing challenges. There are the artificial challenges and the natural challenges. Natural challenges are occasioned by the COVID-19 pandemic. Eh? It's a challenge. We know all the business community, all the government, even it globally. There's a challenge. Globally, there's a challenge. Globally, there's a challenge.
You want him to get
I accept. No, that's why I'm saying it's good to accept that at the moment we have two challenges. We have natural challenges. Mm-hmm. That is occasioned by this COVID-19 pandemic. Mm-hmm. So, and it's not only Kenya, it's global.
Yes.
It's global challenge.
So what are you saying?
It's global challenge.
Where will the money be found from?
And we have artificial challenges.
This money
artificial challenges are caused by poor leadership. When we have poor leadership, that is only skewed to their interest. That is now where the government will fail. But this other global challenge, it's not only facing Kenya, it's a global challenge.
I agree.
It's facing
where
the
is
world.
The money coming from?
Let us not first talk about where the money is coming from. Let us first accept that we have challenges. We have global challenge.
We've
so
accepted.
the global challenge, it is a global thing. It will get its natural remedy. But the artificial challenges is the poor leadership. It's the poor leadership. It's the leadership of interest. Every time a government is finishing its term, there are people who have interest. There are the people, the so-called sponsors, who normally sponsor every government. Where as every government goes out, they will always want to come and participate. Right. And wait a minute.
But first, you're not telling me something.
I'm telling you something. Wait a minute.
You're running away from the question.
Give me time. I'm not running away.
You're running away from the question.
I'm saying. The government now, the running of the government now is being run by cartels. Government now is being run by people, characters who have interest. Yes. No, who have interest. That's why at the other time, wait a minute.
So you'll find money through doing what?
Give me time. You're not giving me time. Yes. I'm having competition from both sides. You are to the point. So I'm saying, at the moment, government is being run by cartels who have their personal interest. Mm-hmm. The other time, there was something called Mount Kenya Foundation. Mount Kenya Foundation comprises the billionaires, the rich people, the tycoons of Kenya, the rich people. When the Deputy President William Ruto announced that he was going to run on presidential, to run for presidency, on the platform of bottom-up, empowering this person who is at the grassroots, this poor Kenyan, at the ground. Wait a minute. When he just said that, don't even say about how fast. when just he pronounced that he is going to run on platform of uplifting this humble Kenyan, this person at the grassroots, this so-called the tycoons, the billionaires, they were scared.
Yeah, but
they were scared because every rich person.
I feel like you're taking us in circles. Because let me tell you why. Because I've asked him, pesa inatoka wapi? Yeah, amesema pesa inatoka from cutting out the corruption.
And that,
which I'm not very satisfied with because I'm coming back to you on that issue.
Okay.
I've asked you, when you say bottom up, you don't take us in circles. Just tell us, where is the money coming from to support this agenda for young people?
We have enough.
How will you get it?
We have enough funds in Kenya.
We
have enough money. You know, I was trying to answer the question, but you
by taking us to Eldoret.
Let me now.
Wapi.
Let me now come directly. If you felt I was taking you through the bush, let me now come directly. Let me now come directly. I was saying,
yes.
Currently, a lot. Kenya, for example, is self-sufficient. We have enough funds in Kenya. But unfortunately, these funds is going to cartels. And I was trying to question that they are the so-called business community.
Yes.
The owners of money in Kenya. The owners of business community in Kenya. That's why, wait.
So that's where you're getting the money from?
That is why most of these funds, I'm saying Kenya is self-sufficient. And most of the funds that you have in Kenya goes to cartels. The so-called the owners of money, the owners of the whatever foundation.
So
this foundation, when they had that, the bottom-up economic model is going to empower this person at the grassroots. They formed as well and they decided that they were going to support.
Levy, I think
there's a male team.
I think I've given more than enough because I'm trying to imagine in a scenario that come August, in a scenario that Ruto is President Ruto now.
Yes.
Now.
Yeah.
Now assuming
a rich man will have a sleepless night.
Assuming he's now president.
And
now the young people are there saying, hey, ulisema bottom up.
First, do you agree with me?
Just a minute.
Do you agree with me?
Just a minute, hold on. Levy,
yeah.
Let me be the devil's advocate. I want to help my brother.
Yes.
Okay? You've digressed. You've taken about 5 minutes going around.
It's been 5 minutes.
So, Levy.
It's like I'm the only one marginalized. It's like I'm the only one marginalized.
No one is hanging up against you.
Me
personally, I'm very interested in the questions because
I want us to be objective and talk about issues.
Yes.
Right?
Yeah.
Now, these cartels that you're going around.
Yes.
Now, these are the corruption.
They are having sleepless nights now. When they know that a poor Kenyan is going to be uplifted to root the bottom-up economic. That's why they cannot sleep now.
You are unable to answer that question.
Which one? I was about to answer, but you are interjecting.
The reason why I want to help you.
I was having attacks from both sides. You are attacking me, you are attacking me when I'm about to pass my point.
Because no one is attacking you.
I want to pass my point.
Yeah,
clearly.
This is a safe space.
I want to justify my point. I want to qualify my point.
Qualify.
But I'm having attacks from both of you.
Let me give you 20 seconds. Qualify it.
Okay. I was saying there is no time a rich man will sleep when he knows a poor man, the person who was previously kneeling down to him, is getting rich. That is why the rich billionaires of this country have stood and said we are going to support Azimio. The other time they was in Safari Club Hotel. Next week you will hear them they are having millionaires dinner. Wait a minute. Why are let me finish my point. Yeah. Next week you will hear them they are having millionaires dinner where every plate of buffet will be 10 million. They are raising money to this person who said he'll be giving 6,000.
But some billionaires are with you too. I just want to make that point. You also have some billionaires. Starting with your candidate. But let me start something, my brother. Okay. You said about closing corruption cartels. Okay. And I was curious. He raised a question that I was going to raise.
Okay.
Why can that happen now?
Sorry?
Surely. How come? You know, there is a disappointment among some people that Baba, has always been a champion of human rights of people until the handshake. Yes. And after the handshake, anytime something has gone wrong in the government, there's been a loud silence from his part, in maybe in part of supporting. Do you think that you guys owe the electorate some explanation? Because when the president says that 2 billion is lost, usually Baba would have come up with a list. It's lost through this.
Right.
Do you feel that causes you a credibility issue to say that you're going to fix something that is still ongoing? Because as far as we know, the president has not told us how he has stopped the the corruption that is going at 2 billion per day. So maybe it is still going. Yesterday, today, tomorrow, you know.
Yes.
We have not had.
To answer your question,
Hiyo tap imefungwa.
Levy, Baba has been the repository of the Kenyan history, the receptacle of the Kenyan history. This gentleman has a track record. It is clearly, just the same way you're saying, all these years Baba has been talking about it, and he's still been talking about it. Okay? Now, 2010 Constitution, we do not have a provision for opposition leader. You understand? The 2010 Constitution. Now, the people who are supposed to keep the government in check.
You're taking us to BBI, aren't you?
No.
Kama tungepitisha BBI.
Just a minute. The people who are supposed to keep the government in check is the members of parliament, is the legislatures, from both sides. That is what the 2010 Katiba talks about. So what Baba has been doing, he has not been the opposition leader since 2013.
But he's got a minority leader in parliament.
Okay. Be that as it may.
Yeah.
Who talked about the maize scandal is Baba? We know the beneficiaries of the maize scandal. Okay. Now, the same Baba talked about the NYS scandal. It has been Baba. Okay. Even the last scandal for the KEMSA, who talked about it? Our own people. Our own people. Yes. You will twist it to please what you want to hear, but it's our own people.
Papa.
Yes.
In fact, Papa was what supporting those who are allegedly beneficiaries of KEMSA. And Papa has always kept quiet. Baba, the day he inserted his head to the government, he just kept quiet. Initially, he was talking about maize scandal, but he's now in government. Baba is now dining with the president.
Constitutionally, he
has not listed the beneficiaries of the maize scandal you have just said.
Constitutionally,
Baba is now in government.
Yes.
When the KEMSA scandal came out, Papa was in government, but he has been playing tricks. He has never come out clearly to say so and so is the beneficiary of KEMSA.
2017, we clearly won the election.
But
yes, we won the election.
Well, it was annulled, but I don't know whether they said
we
it was
won the election.
My brother
we were supposed to.
But there was a second election.
I know my brother is also an IPC.
We clearly won the election.
The second election you didn't show up.
Yes. So the first election was marked with a lot of malpractices. You understand?
Yes.
So nobody won. You can't say you won.
No, we won.
No, it's the IBC. That's mandated.
The floor is mine. They weren't able to open the IBC servers as it was requested until to date. So we do not know what is in those servers. Number two, when the election was ordered from the court, there are certain reducible minimum requirements that were not met. So clearly, there was nobody who won the repeat election. So you cannot tell me, Baba.
But have they been met? That's a question. I'm going to break.
Yes.
The question is, in this election, have those irreducible minimums you are looking for, have they been met?
Now, that is one of the main challenges that we are being faced with.
But here we are in another election.
Yes.
Why don't we take a break first? Let's take a break on that note. We'll be right back after these messages. Don't go away. This is the Opinion Box.
Thank you.